Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. Well, today we're going to show you how to build global headers and custom headers for various different pages. Here's the default Divi header, which is fine, it works and everything like that. We're going to turn it into something a little more interesting. Something like this. We've put a tagline in there. We've got a little countdown timer to a software sale. And we've got a little contact us button too. And you don't have to stick with one. You can have any sort of custom design on any page you want. If I go over to cards over here, we've got a sort of chrome effect one up there. Really easy to do. Great little feature to have on your site. Let's get started. To do this today, I'm going to go down to the dashboard. We're going to go down to Divi and the theme builder. Now let's just delete the two that I've created here. We'll save the changes. Go back up here and refresh. This should disappear. Let's go back to the top, and there's a different one on the home page as well. Yep, as it's refreshed, it's gone back to the default. Fantastic. I can close that one out. Okay, so this is what we start off with by default with a regular Divi theme header. To build your own custom one, like I just mentioned, go down to Divi, to Theme Builder. That will take us to this page. Let's add a global header. Now, a global header, as the term infers, it's going to be on every page of our site unless we tell it not to be. So let's click there. I'm going to build a global header. Once in there, it's going to ask us to put in a row. I'm going to put in a row in mine. I'm going to put 4 columns in. And before I put anything in them, I'm going to make this row full width. To do that, go to the green tab for a row, blue tab for a section, dark tab for a module. So we're going to go into the green tab. Going to go over to design in the middle, just down to sizing below. I'm going to go to width. I'm going to slide it all the way up to 100. I'm going to copy the 100%, Control C, paste it in the max width just down below it, Control V to paste, and save it. We've now got a full width row. Of course, you can type that in if you want to. Let's save that. So we're now using the full screen width of whatever device it's being viewed on. Okay, in my first column here, I'm going to put my logo. Could use the menu module for this, but I'm going to separate them a little bit. So let's roll down. There's an image module. Let's find my logo. Got a lot of images on this site. There we go. We'll pop that one in there. It's way too big, so I'm going to make it a lot smaller. Link-wise, I want to link it to my URL, the root directory, or the .com. So I'm going to copy my URL there. Yours would be whatever your site is, me at mysite.com. We'll put that in there. Want it to open in the same window, because then every time they click that button, it's going to go to your home page. Not going to put a background in there. Let's pop over to design and get it about the size that we want it. And we'll adjust these later on mobile devices. I'm going to go down to sizing. Here's the width right here. Just slide it down till it's as big or as small as you want it. I think something like that's going to work for me. Let's round that up to about 50%. I want it to be in the middle. That way when it shrinks down on tablet and phone, it'll be nicely centered. Great. Now underneath that, I think I'd like to have a little tagline that said something about my business. So I'm going to add a little text module. I go all the way down to the bottom, just a regular text module. Let's grab the tagline that I want. I'm going to say, designing digital experiences. Great, well I can edit that. I can go over to the design tab, or I can roll over the top of it and hit the little blue button. It'll take me straight to the design elements. I want it to be in the middle. So let's roll down and we'll put it in the middle. want it to be a little bit bolder, and I think I'll use that blue color, dark blue of my logo there. So let's go back up, text color. I've got my hex code. We'll just paste it in there. And just to make it stand out a little bit more, let's make it perhaps semi-bold with the text font weight just above. That's great, but I want it a lot closer to my little image right here. So I'm going to save what I've got. I go into my image. My image is not taking up much space, but it seems to have a lot of padding or something on the bottom there. So let's go in there, little cog. We'll go over to design, go to spacing, padding. Let's put a 0 in the bottom and see what happens. Not much. Let's do it with the margin. That's a lot better. That's just about how I want it. Great, well, let's move on. Of course, they need somewhere to navigate around the site. So in this next one, let's add a menu module. And the menu module does give you opportunity to put a logo in, so if you wanted to use it for a longer one, you could do. I like to do mine separately. I'm going to leave that as the default menu in there. As I say, I'm not going to put a logo in there because we've taken care of that. I just did it that way so I could put a tagline in there easily. In Elements down below, you can choose whether to show a shopping cart icon if you've got WooCommerce installed, and show a search icon if you want to. I'm happy with it to be just like that. Link, don't need that. Background, by default it's actually got a white background in there. I'm going to take any background away. I will style it with similar colours that I've got in my logo over here. So let's go over to design, down to menu text, active link colour. Let's make it the light colour of the logo there. I've got that over here. I'm just copying and pasting these. I'm clicking on the colour itself and pasting it into the field that it gives you. That's going to be the active colour. And the regular colour, I'm going to make it the same colour as the dark blue there. So if we go down, menu, regular text colour, I'm going to do the same thing. Paste my code in there. That's great. I think I'll make it semi-bold so it stands out just a little bit better, just like we did before. So let's roll back up a little bit. Font weight. Fantastic. And of course you can choose any font you want. Divi's got a fantastic amount of fonts. Audition one, just roll over it. It'll give you an example. Great. I'm going to leave that just there. In this next one, let's have a little countdown timer to a little sale or something like that, or whatever you want. Obviously, you make this menu yours. I'm just giving you examples here. So I'm going to use a countdown timer. Let's move this over a bit so we can see. And we'll say software sale. Obviously, whatever it is you want to say with yours. Pop the date in. You can actually do it to the hour and minute if you want to by adjusting these down here. Of course, you're going to want to link it to whatever the sale is on your page. Obviously, put your link in there. If you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new window. That way, your site will stay open. Well, let's go about styling this. I'll go over to design. Again, the text, I'm going to make that dark blue color. I'm happy with it to be centered. So title text, we'll make that blue. I think I want it a bit smaller than that. I certainly want it closer, but we may have to put a bit of CSS code in there to make that smaller. I'm going to capitalize it. Again, I'm going to make it semi-bold and a lot smaller. Try 12. Yeah, I'll probably do it. Moving on down to our numbers. Again, I'm going to put that same color in there. Probably okay like that. Let's try them semi-bold. Yeah, it stands out a little bit better. It's okay. I like that to be closer to the software sale at the top. I wonder if we can do that with line height. If I just pull this down. That's not going to help a lot. Put a 0 in there. Well, let's leave that and we'll move on to our days down below. Label text. Again, I'll put that same color in there. And let's try adjusting the line height on that. Bringing it a bit closer, that's fine, don't want it too close. And let's make that semi-bold also. Great. Now I want to get that software sail a lot closer. So I think I'm going to have to use a bit of custom CSS for that. To do that, I'm going to go over to the Advanced tab. We're still in the countdown timer settings here. I want to reduce the gap between here and here, and I think that's probably a bit of padding on this. So if I go into the custom CSS and roll down, we should have a title. There it is. Let's say margin dash bottom colon 0 pixels. It's not done it. Let's try making it important by exclamation mark. Yeah, that's done it. We've had to force it, but that's okay as long as it works. So that's about right distance wise for me. So let's say that, and I'll just put this down the bottom below the video for anybody who wants to copy and paste it, but it's literally the one line there, margin dash bottom colon 0 exclamation mark important. Wait, what else do I want to do with this thing? Well, I don't want to see that background. I might put a background in when I hover over it, and we can use that light color again like that. So let's do that. Content. Background's always under the content tab on every Divi module. This color, I don't want to see it at all until we hover on it. Common to all Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing within a module, some little icons will appear. If there's an arrow, you can set a desktop state when the mouse is not on it. I'll make it transparent. When they hover over it, you can put in another value or a different color. I'm going to put in the color that I want. Great. So regular state, no background. When they hover over it, we got that color from our logo. Fantastic. Let's put that back on desktop and we'll move on. The only other thing I'm going to put with this is a button. So let's add a little button module. And we'll put it to the link to the contact us. There it is. Obviously, put the link into the page or wherever it is you want to take them with your button up there. Let's just make it similar to everything else on this page. Design wise, alignment, want it in the middle. I need to check alignment with this and this also in a minute. Text is fine. All I'm going to do is change the background color to my dark blue. That's fine. And when they hover over it, let's make it a lighter blue. Simply click on the arrow up there, click on the color field, drag the color slider up to where you want it. That's fine. I could have used the other blue, but that'll work for me today. Let's just give it some rounded corners perhaps and leave it there. We roll down. There's the border width. Here's the border radius. Let's give it, say, 30 pixels. That'll make it nice and round. Just flip everything back to desktop view so it's the right color. Great. Okay, well, let's make this into a header now by aligning everything, making it the height that we want it. I'm going to save the changes on that button. I want to make sure that this is in the center of the module, which it is, or center of the column, I should say. And also this. Looks to be, but let's just double check that. Design, layout, it's left aligned. I want mine centered. I haven't got a logo. You may have noticed it said inline centered logo. You can put it so your logo is in the middle. That's great. Well, let's make it the sort of height we want it, then we'll line everything up. First thing I'm going to do is go up into the section, the blue tab, over to design. I'm going to go down to spacing. I'm going to take any padding away from the top and the bottom. I'm just simply going to put a 0 in the top, hit the chain, and it'll do the bottom. That's a bit more like it, so we can see what's going on. Let's add a bit of box shadow to the bottom of this so you can see where the bottom of it is. There we go. Great. I think we can tighten it up a little bit more, so let's go into the row. Remember, we made this row full width, green tab for the row, design, spacing. Let's maybe give it 10 pixels on the top. That's probably not enough. Maybe squishing it a little bit. Let's try putting the same on the bottom and see what happens. That'll work. I wouldn't mind taking that up a few pixels. That's nicely centered. We'll have to bring this down and bring that down. So let's do that. I'm going to go into my little module here. To bring it up, I'm just going to use a little bit of negative margin, design, spacing. Before I do anything negative, let's make sure there's no margin or anything like that on the top. No. And no padding on the top. No. So what I'm going to do is go and increment down. And you'll see it starting to pop up like that. A little bit more. There we go. That's going to work for me. Great. So we can probably make this header a little bit deeper now. We've done that. We'll save that. Go back into the row. You could do it with a section, but I'd like to do it with the row, the green tab. Spacing. Take this up to about 15. Because we got the chain link, it's doing them both. Yep, that works fine for me. Fantastic. Well, let's level up this one. All I'm going to do is put a bit of padding on the top. Going into the menu to design, spacing. And let's perhaps in the padding, give it 15. Need a bit more than that. Just increment up until it looks right with you. Maybe a little bit too much. Something like that. Obviously adjust to taste. Seems to be fairly in line with that, that and that. Now we just need to bring our button down a bit. And I think I'll take that icon off of it as well. So I'm going to go into the button. This time, if we go into spacing, we're going to have to use margin. If I use padding, it'll make button deeper or wider. So let's use margin. Let's try 20. A little bit too much. Yeah, that works for me. Fantastic. Great. Well, we've got a nice few things going on with our little global menu here. We'll save our changes here. To make it a little bit more interesting, let's blend a couple of things into the background and we'll get that kind of chrome effect that I had before, stainless steel type effect. So I'm going to go into the section, the blue tab. I'm going to go into background. I'm going to add an image, something with a bit of color. I think that might have been what I used last time. Let's put that one in there. Great. I'm going to go over to the color here. I'm going to put a white in. Now you can't see it because the image is on top. But if we go back to the image, roll on down, make sure the parallax is set to no. At the bottom here, we got background image blend. I'm going to set this to screen. Now it's turned completely white. It's gone to that color that we had. Let's roll back up now. We'll go back to the color itself. Click on the field. This little variegated slider. We can drag it down and start to see some of the image behind. And create some great effects this way. Something like that. It kind of almost looks like polished steel or something. Take it down more and more image shows through. I kind of like it. Something like that. Great. Well, let's save this now. Down to the purple button at the bottom. Save the page changes. And X out. Make sure the changes are saved here. Now if we go back to our site, there's a default Divi header. If I refresh now, we've got our nice new header there. What I need to do is I need to make it sticky. And we need to check it on mobile devices. So let's go back into our theme builder here. Go into the global header. To make it sticky, it's really easy. Simply go into the section, the blue tab, over to advanced, down to scroll effects, where it says do not stick, left click, stick to top. And we don't want any bottom sticky limit. We want it to stick to the top at all times. Great. Well, let's check it out on tablet and mobile. So if we go down to our little purple button at the bottom here, let's go to tablet view. Yeah, those are way too big on tablet. Our logo's way too big. Need to change the hamburger color on our menu there. Make sure everything's functioning. So let's do the logo first. Go into the logo. Over to design, sizing. Make sure that we're on tablet mode. Hit the little mobile phone icon. Yep. And take the width down till it's about the size you want it. Let's move this over so we can see. Not too bad, a little bit less than that perhaps. Fantastic. Now let's have a look at it on mobile. Remember, we're just dealing with the logo size here. We want to also make sure that it's centered. I'm going to take it down, something like that. Yep, it is centered. Fantastic. Great. Let's pop down to this one. Got to make those numbers an awful lot smaller on tablet. Design, numbers text, roll on down. Here's the size. Double check we're on tablet. We are. Just drag it down till they're the size you want them. Perfect. Check it on mobile, and you can hide any of these elements if you don't want to show them on either desktop, tablet or mobile. You can do that by going to the advanced, visibility, disable on phone, tablet or desktop. You do that with any module, row, section you like. Well, I'm happy with that. So let's now go into a hamburger of our menu up here, move to design, and that's an icon, that little hamburger icon. Here it is right here. Let's make it our dark blue color. That's great. Button's fine where it is. Let's have one more look on mobile. It's okay, we could reduce the space between these if we wanted to, but I'm not too unhappy with that. We've got to make sure that this is actually going to work. So let's save this. X out. Make sure everything's saved here. And we'll take a look at our page. Just give it a quick refresh. And let's have a look on tablet and mobile. I'm using Google Chrome here. If I hit F12 and get my responsive devices toggle on. Yeah, that's fine. Our menu is working fine then. Let's have a look on an iPad. Yeah, that's fine too. Again, I'll make it a bit bigger so you can see it better. Yep. Fantastic. Okay, well, we're happy with that one. But what if you want this sort of menu on every page, but on this one where we've got this sort of hero type image in the beginning, you wanted a different color one? Well, you can do that on any page, and we don't have to rebuild this fully. All we need to do is go around and change a few things. Let's go back into our theme builder. I'm going to go into my global header. I'm going to go up into the whole section itself, and I'm going to save this to my library. A little round icon just to the left of the trash can there. Let's call it Global 1. Once saved, we can X out. Let's add a new template over here. I'm going to build a new template, but I only want it to be available on a specific page. The page I want it to is my home page, which I happen to know is called Light. So I'm going to put that there. Looks like we've got this one assigned to it over here. Let's get rid of this global header. It's put that in there because I had one here before. We don't need that one. So we'll just build our custom header here. And once it's open, I'm going to go in and hit the little blue button for a new section. I'm going to say add from the library. I've got a lot in my library. It'll be right down the bottom. There it is, global 1. I'm going to left click on it and say use this section. And there's our header right there. I'm going to delete the section that's on top of it. Trash can. And here we are. Now for this one, I just want it to have a black background. So I'm going to go into the section. Background. We'll change that color to full black. I'm going to take the image away altogether by clicking on the image and hitting the little trash can icon. Great. I've got a white version of my logo. I'm going to pop in there. So let's pop into the logo there. If you can't get to something because it's under something else, you can go to what they call wireframe mode. Little purple button, little icon to the left, wireframe view, and it gives you the back end. Then flip back when you're ready. Okay, well let's put my white logo in. There it is. Great, and it's put it in the same dimensions as the one before. Now the rest of these text items, I'm going to change to the light blue that I had of my logo just now. So I'll do the first one. Then I'll pause and do the rest of them. So let's save our changes here. We'll go into that little text module. You can just hit the paintbrush, or take you straight to the design for it. I'm going to make the text color my other blue. Fantastic. I'm going to do exactly the same for our menu and for the various things in our countdown here. I'll pause the video and do that. Great. This has also got our background hover color, which I'll change from the light blue to a dark blue. Background's always under content, as we said earlier. Go up into the hover state. Yeah, we got to change blues there. That'll work. Fantastic. And we'll just switch button blues and we're good to go. And I'll take that little button icon away, I believe, as well. So let's go to design, button. I'm going to make it the light blue color there. And we'll make it that. Actually, that color on hover is absolutely fine. And I'm just going to take the icon away. Show button icon. No. We'll save our changes here. Save the page changes. X out. Now we want to make sure this is just assigned to our home page. It is at the moment because we assigned it before. But to double check, you can hit the cog here. I've got it checked on the home page and specific pages, which is light, which is exactly the same page which happens to be assigned to my home page. Whereas this one should be on any other page. So let's save our changes here. Make sure the changes are saved up here. Pop back to our home page. Hit the refresh. And we've got the dark version on our little hero section out there. That works nicely. It's going to stay dark all the way down. But for our front page, that's absolutely fine. For every other page though, we should have that other menu. Let's go to our cards page. And there it is. We've got that sort of steel effect background. So there you go, guys. There's how to build custom headers, not only globally, but how to style them individually for individual pages. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. Once again, this has been Jamie from System 22 and webdesignertechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.